Good evening and welcome to our show, City Talk. I am your host, Maria. Tonight, we're discussing a question that's important to everyone who lives in a city. It's a simple question, but the answer isn't so simple. The question is, should our public parks be free for everyone? We all love our parks. They're the green hearts of our cities. They're places where we can go to walk, to play with our children, and to relax after a long week of work. But these beautiful places need care. And care costs money. So who should pay for our parks? To help us understand this topic, we have two guests with us tonight. First, I'd like to welcome Leo. Leo's a university student who uses the city parks almost every day. He strongly believes that parks must be free for every single person. Welcome to the show, Leo! And on the other side of the discussion, we have Sarah. Sarah's a city planner, she works for the city government, and thinks about how to make our city a better place to live. Sarah believes that a small entry fee for parks is a good idea. She thinks it'll help us keep our parks beautiful and safe. Welcome, Sarah! We'll start with opening statements. Each guest will have some time to explain their ideas. Leo, you can begin.
Thank you, Maria. Good evening. I'm very happy to be here to talk about something I care about deeply. I believe with all my heart that our public parks must always be free. There should be no question about it. First, let's talk about health. Parks are like free, open-air gyms for everyone. In our modern lives, many of us sit in an office or a classroom all day. We need places where we can move our bodies. We can go for a run, ride a bicycle, or just take a long, slow walk. Breathing fresh air and seeing green trees is good for our bodies. It helps us stay healthy and strong. But it's not just about our bodies, it's also about our minds. Being in nature helps us feel calm, it reduces stress, and makes us feel happy. A quiet moment on a park bench can be the best part of a difficult day. Second, and this is very important, parks must be fair. Fairness means that everyone has the same opportunity. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. If we start charging money to enter a park, we're building a wall. We're saying that people with less money cannot enjoy this beautiful public space. Think about a family with 4 children. A small fee for each person can become a big expense. They might choose not to go. Think about an old person who lives on a small pension. They need a safe place to walk, but they might not be able to pay every day. This is not fair. A park should welcome everyone with open arms. Finally, parks build our community. They are the places where society comes together. They are social spaces. In the park, we're not strangers. We're neighbors. We see the same faces every day. Children learn to play together and share. Parents talk while their kids are on the swings. Friendships start in parks. Community events like weekend markets, small concerts, and holiday picnics happen in parks. These events make our neighborhoods feel alive and connected. A park is a basic public service. It's just like a public library, or a clean street, or a safe bridge. We already pay for these things with our city taxes, because we all agree they're necessary for a good society. Parks are necessary too. They're not a luxury, they're a need. They're for people, not for making a profit. That's why they must remain free for everyone, always. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. And thank you, Leo, for your passionate words. I want to start by saying that I agree with you on many things. Our parks are absolutely essential to our city. I also love our parks. I take my own family to the park every weekend. I want our parks to be wonderful, beautiful, and safe places for every resident. And it's because I want them to be so wonderful that I believe a small fee is the best way to protect them for the future. Let's be practical for a moment. Keeping a large city park clean and beautiful is a very big job. It costs a lot of money. It's not free. We need to pay the salaries of the gardeners who cut the grass, plant the flowers, and take care of the trees. We need to pay the workers who collect the trash every single day so the park stays clean. When a bench is broken by weather, or a swing on the playground is damaged, we need money to repair it quickly so no one gets hurt. We need to pay for water for the plants and electricity for the lights at night. Currently, all this money comes from the city's general budget. But this budget is like a small cake that has to be divided into many, many pieces. The money also has to pay for schools, hospitals, police officers, and fixing roads. Often there's not enough money to go around, and the park's budget is the first thing that gets cut. This is a sad reality. So here's a solution. Imagine if every adult visitor paid a very small fee. Maybe it's just $1, the price of a small coffee. With thousands of visitors each week, this small fee adds up to a very large amount of money. And here's the important part. This money would be dedicated money. This means it can only be used for the parks. It cannot be used for anything else. With this dedicated fund, we can do so much more than just basic maintenance. We can dream bigger. We can build new, exciting, and modern playgrounds for children of all ages. We can install more lights along the paths, making the park feel much safer for people who want to take a walk after dinner. We can plant more diverse trees and create beautiful flower gardens. We can even hire park rangers to offer free guided nature walks or organize more community events. A small fee is not a punishment. It is not a wall. It is a fair and responsible way for all of us who use and love the parks to contribute to their care. It is a small investment to protect these green treasures for our children and our grandchildren. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah, for the detailed explanation. And thank you, Leo. You both have given us a lot to think about. Now, let's get into a discussion. I have some questions for both of you. Leo, let's start with you. Sarah's main point is about the cost of maintenance. She argues that parks are expensive. If we don't get money from a small visitor fee, where exactly should the money come from? The city budget is already tight.
That's a very fair question, Maria. The money must come from the city government's budget. Because parks are a public good, we all pay taxes to the city. The purpose of these taxes is to pay for the important services that we all share. Parks are one of the most important services for a healthy city. The city government needs to make parks a priority. It's about choices. Maybe the city can spend less money on something else that's less important for the community's well-being. A fee is the easy answer for the government, but it's not the right answer for the people. It hurts the people who need the parks the most: families with low incomes, senior citizens, and students. The city has a fundamental responsibility to provide a safe and clean park for all its citizens without asking them to pay at the gate.
Thank you, Leo. Sarah, a question for you. Leo's biggest concern is about fairness. He is worried that any fee, no matter how small, will stop people with very little money from being able to use the parks. How do you respond to this very important issue of equality?
I understand that concern completely, and it's a very valid point. We must make sure our parks are accessible to everyone. That's why the fee system, I imagine, is not a simple one-size-fits-all price. It must be flexible and fair. For example, we can decide that all children under 12 years old, or maybe even under 16, can always enter for free. We can say that our senior citizens, people over 65, also get free entry. We can create a special yearly family pass that costs very little money, maybe $10 or $15 for the whole year. We can also have 1 or 2 days a week, like every Tuesday and Thursday, where the park is free for everybody. The goal is not to create a barrier. The goal is to create better parks. A clean, safe, well-lit park with a new playground is a huge benefit for low-income families too. An unsafe park is good for no one.
That's a very detailed answer. Leo, let's go back to you. I want you to imagine a situation. The city government says, "We're sorry, but we have no extra money this year." Without a fee, the park becomes dirty. The grass is long, there's trash on the ground, and the playground equipment is broken and dangerous. Is a free park that's dirty and unsafe still a good thing for the community?
No, of course not. A dirty and unsafe park is a failure. It's a problem that we must solve. But I still believe that charging a fee at the gate is the wrong solution. It's a lazy solution. There are other, more creative ways to support our parks that also build community spirit. For example, we can create a Friends of the Park program. We can ask local businesses to become sponsors. A local bank could sponsor the summer flower garden. A construction company could sponsor the repair of the playground. Their name can be on a small, tasteful sign. This is great advertising for them and a great help for the park. We can also organize community volunteer days. Once a month, people from the neighborhood can come together for a few hours to help clean up, plant new flowers, or paint the benches. This not only saves money, but it also creates a powerful sense of ownership and pride. People will take better care of a park that they helped build themselves.
That's a very interesting idea about community involvement. Sarah, a final question for you in this part of the debate. Leo just mentioned creative solutions. Let's talk about the practical side of your idea. How would the city actually collect this fee? Wouldn't it be very expensive to build ticket booths and hire staff for every park entrance? Is it possible that the system to collect the money would cost more than the money it brings in?
That's a very important, practical question. The system must be efficient and low cost. We're not in the 20th century anymore. We don't need to build big, expensive ticket booths and hire many new people. We can use simple, modern technology. At the main entrances, we can install simple, automated payment machines, very similar to the parking meters we already use all over the city. You could pay with a credit card, a debit card, or a coin. It would be quick and easy. Or, for people who prefer it, they could buy a park pass on the city's official website. You could buy a pass for 1 day, 1 week, or a whole year, and just have it on your phone. The cost to install and manage this kind of simple, automated system is actually very low. The revenue, the money it'll bring in for our parks, will be much, much greater than the small operational cost. It's a very smart and efficient way to get the dedicated funding we so desperately need to protect and improve our parks.
Thank you, Maria. We've had a good discussion today, and I appreciate Sarah's ideas, even if I don't agree with them. I want to finish by reminding everyone of my main message. Our public parks must remain free. This is a simple and powerful principle. They're essential for our physical and mental health. In a world that's always asking for more of our money, parks should be a place of rest, not another bill to pay. They must be fair. A city that values its people does not put a price on nature and fresh air. A fee, no matter how small or how flexible, creates a barrier. It sends a negative message that some people are more welcome than others. This is wrong. And finally, they're the heart of our community. They're where we connect with our neighbors and build a stronger society. Let's find creative solutions like community partnerships and volunteer work to support them. Let's not take the easy way out by charging a fee. Let's take the better way. Parks are for people, not for profit. Let's keep them open, welcoming, and completely free for everyone.
Thank you, Maria, and thank you, Leo. I respect your passion for this topic. I believe we both want the same thing. We want our parks to be the best they can be. We just have different ideas about how to get there. My position is a practical one. To have high-quality parks, we need to invest in them. Good things cost money. Cleanliness costs money. Safety costs money. Beautiful gardens and new playgrounds cost money. A small and fair user fee is a responsible and sustainable way to make sure we have the money we need for these things. This is not about making a profit for the city. It is about protecting and improving a valuable public asset. It is about all of us, the people who use the parks, contributing a little bit to their upkeep. This small contribution allows us to make our parks safer, cleaner, and more enjoyable for our children, our families, and our entire community. A small price today will help us protect our beautiful green spaces for many generations in the future. Let's invest in the places we love. Let's work together to make our wonderful parks even better for everyone.
Thank you very much, Leo, and thank you, Sarah, for a thoughtful and respectful debate. You have both given us some very clear and powerful arguments to consider. Today, we've explored two very different visions for the future of our city's parks. On one hand, Leo has argued passionately that parks are a fundamental public service, like a library or a road, and must therefore always be completely free for every citizen. On the other hand, Sarah has presented a practical case that a small, flexible user fee is the most responsible way to maintain, protect, and improve our parks for the enjoyment of all. Both of our guests clearly love our parks and want what is best for the community. The question is, which path is the better one for our city? We hope this conversation has given you, our audience, plenty of food for thought. Thank you for joining us on City Talk. Good evening.